So what do you see as the most pressing needs in your district? And as a state representative, how would you go about resolving them?
You know, the three pieces that are, what I want to do is to make sure I can leverage the experiences that I've had to serve the public. And so those experiences include knowing where the Legislative Reference Bureau is, knowing how to get a bill passed through the House and through the Senate. I've pledged and I've told families that I've talked to throughout the district that on day one, I would be introducing a bill to create an ex-offender tax credit.
We need that.
And from that, you know, I kind of got, that was really a continuation of the work that I did at the City of Chicago in the mayor's office, where we had engaged the idea in the General Assembly, not in this form, but to talk about how do we try to break the cycle once someone has actually served its time and comes back into the community. How do you break the cycle to provide them with opportunities, as opposed to sending them back into the same kind of peer group that would lead them down the same path or a similar path?
Yes.
And so a lot of the businesses were saying, you know, we don't mind hiring these folks, but it's cost prohibitive in that their insurance would increase. And so my thought is, similar to the affordable housing tax credit, to fill that gap, you would provide a tax credit to that business to induce them to help break the cycle. So that'd be one. And then the second one would be...
Wait, so have you found that businesses are receptive to the idea?
You know what, I haven't been talking to businesses.
Oh, okay. No, I was just wondering, had you, in your different positions, had you...
Oh, yeah, that notion came from the Illinois Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
They have a big lobbying group in Springfield, and that's kind of was some of the, not pushback, but at least response to you know, our wanting to, the mayor is wanting to try to break the cycle. And so, you know, if given the opportunity, I'd go back to those same guys that I dealt with before, but not as a lawyer of the city, as an actual representative of voters, and saying, you know, guys, this is what I'd like to get done, and I would work with both sides of the aisle to get the co-sponsors onto the bill, and have that puppy introduced the first day I'm there. So.
Well, I think in your district, because the 10th district, those areas, you have quite a few minorities in those areas.
Yeah, no, it's you know, it takes up the east and west Garfield, north part of North Lawndale, the near west side. And when you think about the zip codes, it's like 60623 and 60624. And I looked at some data with regards to folks that are actually released from the Department of Corrections, and just the numbers are pretty staggering.
Yes.
And so you have a big concentration of folks that were released. And so the question is, you know, how do you break the cycle? And I know that that's at least one, but I know I'm talking to other groups. I know Save Our Sons has been very active on the west side. I've been being able to really dialogue with their leadership to really start to create an agenda, a platform, to make sure that constituency actually has a voice.
Yes.
And that's something that's important to me. But you're right, the district is extremely diverse. It takes up those communities, as well as the near west side. Bucktown, Wicker Park, Old Town, parts of Lincoln Park, and a little bit of the Puerto Rican areas.
Yes.
And so the district, it's just a reality that a lot of the city of Chicago, just the black population is kind of dispersed out. And so this district was drawn not as a majority black district, but it was drawn as a majority Democratic district. And so those are some of the, when you look at the kind of the trends of the numbers and the like, I think that kind of reflects a lot of the politics as well. But I think it's important, and I think that what distinguishes me from others is just the empathy. You know, I've lived in North Lawndale.
For how long?
I lived there for 6 years.
Okay.
Representative Arthur Turner, who is, in my opinion, an absolute pioneer and leader in the North Lawndale area. He helped to inspire me to understand,
That's great.
you know, the issues, the history of North Lawndale, and therefore the issues that are attached to it. But also to be able to have seen what, you know, through his leadership, working with Lawndale Christian and the other, how he's able to coalesce interest groups to build, you know, a major clinic and community center and bring restaurants and development into, you know, the Ogden, Cermak, Pulaski kind of corridor there. So,
Well, I think you're going to need all that experience because, let's see, the Black and the Latino population make up 38%. And you have 58% of Blacks and Latinos in the prison system. So that's quite a number.
right.
And I mean, once you become a felon, it is hard to get employment, it is hard to get housing, it is hard to get everything.
Certainly. I mean,
So,
yeah.
I think that is a very good idea, what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just the first step, and
Yeah.
that's something, you know, that I'm pledging that to get done the first day I get there.
Well, you have the right attitude. I
Yeah.
mean, I like that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and, you know, in high school you would tell these kids, please don't get in the system. But
Right, right,
they don't listen.
right.
And then it's too late. And
That's just
whatever.
a small element, you know,
Yeah.
but it's at least a lot of, one thing I did learn through the legislative process, that by introducing legislation, it spurs the debate.
Yes.
And I've talked to other families, like I said, how important it is to have a free market of ideas,
Yes.
where folks are able to put, you know, get your ideas into the marketplace,
Yes.
and in that marketplace, the truth shall prevail.
Yes.